That's a ride body beat.
Yo, Panther Nation, what's good? Welcome back to Carolina's Armchair GM. I am your host, CJ. What's going on with you, everybody? Thank y'all for joining me again for another live episode about our favorite football team. Well, my favorite football team, I hope yours too, the Carolina Panthers. All right. And as the thumbnail said and the title, we're going to do a little bit of a training camp preview. I did sort of one last week for the offense when I was talking about the whole uniform thing. So this week we're going to do the defense. Okay. All right. And first, before we get into everything, I just want to thank everybody for joining me. As always, you can catch me on all social media at Armchair GMCJ. Okay. And again, I appreciate the love and the support. All right. But Panther Nation, what's been going on with you this past week since the last time I saw y'all, man? Y'all is ready for football to start again as I am. It's funny because I put out a short and I was like, yo, we need football back bad. I said I sat here and listened for half an hour to a discussion about Bryce Young. There was a play in his, I think it was his rookie year, against the Saints, and Demario Davis and I forgot the other guy's name, one of the defensive linemen tackled him. And he fell, and it was where he kind of fell on his head and his neck was, turned to the side like this, where he was, on the ground. And I listened to about a half hour discussion on how that was Bryce Young's fault because he fell wrong. And I'm sitting here and I ain't gonna lie, I was laughing, I was hollering the whole time, and I was just like, yo, I said we need football back bad. We need football back bad. We running out of crap to talk about, and we gonna sit there and talk about spend a half hour debating on whether this man fell wrong. I mean, in his defense, martial arts was brought up, and then in the argument that it was his fault, physics was brought up, and I was just sitting here, I was in awe. So yeah, I'm glad that training camp is around the corner. It's Monday for us, the 21st. The rookies report. Hopefully, all of our rookies will report, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. Okay, but let me get into a couple comments here. Let me see. B Amos, what's up, CJ? What's up, B Amos? How you doing, big dog? SC Pace 4, what's going on, man? How you doing? He says, why is Shy Tuttle still on my NFL team? Man, let me tell you, I don't know. I don't know. But hey, okay. Like I said last week, Shy Tuttle, I don't know if you watching this dog, but like that song say, you got a friend in me. Yeah. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Shy Tuttle's gonna have a better year this year. He's gonna have a better year this year. I feel it. Okay. Hopefully, all of these preliminary depth charts are wrong. I'm hoping that they will slide him over to one of the defensive end spots, make Cam Jackson the backup for Bobby Brown the third, and keep Shy Tuttle off of that nose tackle position. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. As also, we might have dodged a bigger grenade in NFL history by not drafting Shamar Stewart because of that contract ish. Yo, let me tell you, Shamar Stewart has left the team, Cincinnati Bengals, and he has gone back to College Station. I was sitting there like, what's the name of where they play at? College Station with Texas A&M, and is practicing with them. So I think he has an option to apply or apply for a waiver where he could go back to school and play again this year for the Texas A&M Aggies and then re-enter the NFL draft next year. And if I'm not mistaken, and if I am, y'all let me know, there's some language in the contract that he does not want there, and Cincinnati is not budging. They put it in there and they are hell bent on it staying in there. Him and his team do not want it in there, so that's why he hasn't signed yet. But yes, SC Pace, yeah, we might have, because I saw a lot of people had him in mock drafts going, at the number 8 pick to us. I seen people that traded down and picked him up, and yeah. I'm glad we didn't get into that mess. All right. Casey Rivas, what's going on with you? How you doing? There we go. What? Duh. There go my boy. He said, "Hey, just saying what's up. I see the see the guns out." Said, "But yes, looks like it sounds like a lot of people are ready for football. I see you next week." Yes, sir. Yeah, I got the guns out tonight. My wife got me the shirt when she was in Aruba. It says I flexed and the sleeves fell off. And then it says Aruba, one happy island. All right. So, hopefully me and her, she went with a girlfriend. She had a great time. Um, took a lot of pictures. They had a ball. So hopefully, maybe later on this year, maybe for our anniversary or something, maybe we'll go back down there, but we'll see. But yeah, yeah, I got the guns out tonight. You know, what caliber they are? Hey, I don't know. All right. Casey Rivers said, "Glad football is around the corner. You and me both. You and me both. Yes, 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 yes." Nakari, what's going on, man? Oh, you know what, Nicole? I'm glad you said something because now I was thinking about Excel the video of all of them on the lake. Bryce, Ted, Adam Thielen, Jimmy Horn, all them on the lake. And Excel is out there wilding out. He was like, "Yeah, I'm scared to get in this water, but I'm gonna get in it as long as I got this rope and this life vest on. I'll be good." He turned around. They showed the camera. They put the camera in Bryce. Bryce was like, "Mm-mm." He was like, "Yeah, he's scared. He ain't getting in there." Let me tell you that's had me laughing all day long. Okay, all right. We might have a confirmation anniversary. Say less. All right, bet. Yo, let me tell you. And I'm glad you brought that up, Nella, because next year, next year would be 20 years that I would be married to this great woman who's on the other side of this wall here. Okay, now not dissing number 19 because this would be a great anniversary as well. But I just sit here and think 20 years. I have been married for 20 years. There's actually somebody in this world that has put up with me for 20 plus years. So to that, Nella, I love you and I thank you, baby. All right. And the car said we don't. Oh my God, the car said we don't swim here. That's my song. And we right next to the beach. Yo, okay. I'm laughing like that, but I can't really talk either. I didn't learn how to swim until I got to college. I took a swim class my freshman year at college down in the oh God, what was the name of that gym? Had in UNC Charlotte had a pool at the bottom. But yeah, I didn't learn how to swim until I got to college. And I grew up right next to the beach as well. Now, mind you, now since they've done some construction since I left home, the beach is 5 minutes from my house. It used to take us about a good 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what part of the beach you went to, because we had to go all the way down to the next town, take the beach road across the intercoastal waterway, and then you got over to what they call Oak Island, well, Long Beach and all that stuff now. But yeah, man, yeah. I feel you. I can't talk much, but yeah, I got you. Vietnam, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate you, big dog, as always, and welcome. So, what's good, CJ? Keep up the fire content. Keep pounding. Bryce of America Stadium. Oh, I like that one. Oh, that's gonna make sense. I gotta use that. That's gonna piss some people off, and I love it. Bryce of America Stadium. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate you, Vietnam. Supernova More, what's going on? It's happy anniversary, bro. Well, I appreciate it, and it's not until October. Okay, October 21st. But yeah, but I appreciate you. But it sounds like I'm going to Aruba, y'all, so I can go take this shirt and have it on when I get off the plane down there. So yeah, all right. But appreciate you. Doug said, "Congrats to you too." But I'm out, CJ in chat. All right, hey Doug, look, you be safe, big dog, and I will. I'll text you later on, man. Appreciate you stopping through, dog. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get into it here. And but also before we get into that, all right, all of the front office members on the YouTube channel, I appreciate everybody for continuing to be a member. Okay. Again, I know I said this last week. I'm gonna say this again this week. I know the content has been lacking, but trust me when I say my full-time job has been going ham lately. Okay, your boy has been busy. When your boy gets home, your boy goes to sleep for the most part. But I will get back on that, especially with fantasy football coming up. The Panthers had a contest where you can enter to win like a fantasy football draft, like at the stadium. So of course, I entered that. That would be dope. That would be real dope. We could do that at the stadium. But again, thank you for all the front office members. Again, I appreciate the love and the support. It's only 99 cents, but that 99 cents goes a long way to help me keep things going on this channel. And I appreciate all of you very much. All right. Okay. And again, speaking of fantasy football, all right. Again, we are going to do at least two, at least two fantasy football leagues. I know last year I had a content creators fantasy football league. I am going to try and roll that back out again. I'm going to put out a post on X here pretty soon and see if everybody who was in that league wants to do it again. If we have some more participants, maybe we can do two leagues. We'll see. Okay. But like I said, y'all give me some feedback. I know Nakar already told me go ahead and start the league. So I got you, Nakar. I'm gonna start it. But y'all let me know. Y'all want to do it for free. Y'all want to put some money on it, winner take all. Doesn't matter to me. Whatever y'all want to do, just let me know. I'm down for it. And speaking, I made my first bet today on the season. A good friend of mine, my boy Daniel, he's talking junk to me in our group chat, talking about the Panthers won't win 6 games this year. I said put 50 on it. He said bet. I said okay, cool. So I made my first bet, y'all. So I need the Panthers. I want Panthers to win more than 6 games, but they got it. They got to get 6, or I'm down $50. Not too terribly bad, but yeah, yeah. SC Panthers boy 803. What's going on, man? How you doing? All right, BM, sign me up for fantasy. Okay, I will. When I get the leagues made up, what I will do, I'll put a post on YouTube. I'll put a post on X as well. And y'all can DM me and let me know if you want to sign up for it, and we'll get everything rolling. Poppin', what's going on, Poppin'? How you doing? Poppin' said F that job, CJ. Man, hey, let me tell you. I put it like this, dog. It be some days where I feel like that, but not in the bad way. I love my job. I got a good job. I can't sit here in front. I got it good. It's flexible. It's not hard work. It's just sometimes where we have to do the work, especially in this heat. Yeah, yeah. Your boy be tired, but I got you, Pop. Appreciate you joining, man. The car said buy-in is 30 and your last born child. No, no, no. That's my Layla. That's my Layla bean. Y'all can't have my Layla bean now. Y'all can't have none of them, but definitely not my Layla bean. And it's a kind of a technicality. They twins, and she James, my son James III was born first, and then she was born second. But yeah, nah, y'all can't have my Layla bean. Vietnam say easy money. If you don't have a kid, then your pet. If you don't have a pet, then your mailbox. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. Janelle's gonna be mad at me. Y'all can have Rocky, my dog. Y'all can have Rocky. You can have him. You can have him. Let me tell you, he's a mix of boxer, English Staffordshire Terrier, and some other stuff. But American Staffordshire Terrier. My bad. My bad. Correction coming from the other side of the wall there. But yeah. But let me tell you, when we eat, he sits there and stares at us real weird, like, and I don't like it. I don't. Yeah. But my mother-in-law might be quite mad at me, so come get the mailbox. That'll work. Said that was. You know what? I feel like it was. I feel like that was a safe bet. I feel like my boy's gonna give me $50. He's gonna be mad with me too. And I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. I hope he either watches this or isn't watching now. He is probably when we get to about 5 games, he's gonna be like, all right, let's go ahead and change the bet a little bit. Add this. I'm like, nope, cash out my $50 and leave me alone, man. Said we a lot for 6+. I got 6 games being our floor this season. I got 6 games being our floor. Okay, so I feel pretty good about it too. All right. It said, no problem. Yeah, I gotta go to work, bro. Said Rocky hungry. Man, let me tell you, Rocky is not hungry. That dog is one of the best fed dogs in the entire planet. Okay, my mother-in-law gets up in the morning and makes that dog like peanut butter sandwiches. She cuts the crust off of it and cuts it up into pieces, and the dog is spoiled. Let me tell you, he sits there and he just stares at us, and while we eating, and then once he figures out that we're not giving him no food, he turns around and gives us one of them looks like you turn around looking at somebody like one last shot. No, oh, okay, and then he does like this. He walks with his head down over to his bowl, which is full of dog food, and then goes and eats it. But yeah, nah, he ain't hungry. He ain't hungry. But yeah, but all right, but yeah, but fantasy football. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna make a post about it, probably next week or two, and we'll see where it go from there. All right, let me see. Oh, she doesn't cut the crust off, but she does cut into squares. I do remember her cutting the crust off of one of them darn sandwiches. It might have been a one time deal. Hey, I don't know. We'll see. All right. Janelle's gonna tell her that I talked about this. So all right, let's move on. Okay, now if y'all been watching, okay, so I think this was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, the Charlotte FC, the soccer team, football. If you're in outside of United States, Charlotte is going to be hosting the 2026 MLS All Star Game. Okay. And mind you, if you see the slide I got on the screen here, okay, you see David Tepper, Nicole Tepper, and I don't know who the rest of these people are. I don't know if they're part of the governing body of MLS or whatever. I don't know who they are, but they got the MLS All Star jerseys on, and then David Tepper is holding the throwback jersey from the Carolina or the Charlotte Lightning, not Lightning, but Lightning with an N on the end of it. I think that's a throwback jersey that they wore the other night or whatever. They did win. Um, but if I heard on the news correct, the MLS All Star Game will be in 2026 at Bank of America Stadium, and it will be at the end of July. Okay, the end of July, and that's why I got the picture down here at the bottom left of the Panthers indoor practice facility. Okay, because we've got the news earlier this year that we weren't going to have training camp this year and next year, and this is complete speculation on my part, complete speculation. But I just want to see it. I want to see how far this goes. But and I was always wondering to myself, I'm like, it's not like they building a whole, building with, multiple floors, office space. They not running tons of Ethernet cable and this, that, and the third. I mean, all kind of stuff. I'm like, it's a big box with a field in it. Okay, and I know part of it, they are going to have some stuff over there. I don't know what. And in my mind, me personally, now mind you, I am not a construction worker, even though I do build stuff from time to time. But I'm not into commercial construction, anything like that. But in my mind, I'm like, they should be able to finish this in an off season. Okay, they've been working on it this whole off season. I'm sure they're not going to stop working on it while the season's going on. They're going to work on it through the season. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, they should be done by next year. And now I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, I wonder if, they knew they were in the running for the MLS All-Star game. Maybe they knew when the date that the time frame was going to be, so maybe that's why they said, okay, well, no training camp this year and next year, because if I read the article right, it's a week-long event that's going to be coming to Charlotte, and it says the end of July. I don't know if it's like that second to last week of July next year, or the last week of July. I don't know if it's going to run over into August or whatever. You know what I mean? But I just find it kind of funny. I was like, I said, I wonder if that's why they said no training camp this year and next year. Because I can see this year, okay, they got everything going on. But like I said, I'm no professional builder. I couldn't tell you what the time frame would be to build this. But in my mind, I'm like, shoot, they should have this up and done before, next season. But hey, but just my little bit of conspiracy theory for this evening. But I will say this, congrats to Charlotte for getting the MLS soccer game. I know that a lot of Panther fans probably were, in an uproar because David Tepper said, this is a soccer town. And my thing is this, for everybody out there who probably got upset about it now, um, we are a football town, but we could be a soccer town too. That just like multiple cities. Multiple cities have multiple teams. Some of them have all of them. Some of them have a couple. But I think Charlotte is I'm sorry, soccer with Charlotte FC is really growing. In this community in Uptown Charlotte. 'Cause I think the first game they set a record for attendance. For MLS. So we'll see. I say everybody that don't take that comment. Too personally. We still a football town first. It's still keep pounding all day, every day. Okay. So, but yeah. But like I said, that's just my little conspiracy theory here as to why we won't have training camp next year. Because the MLS All-Star game is coming to Charlotte at the end of July. Okay, so we'll see. All right. Rock Jones, what's going on with you, man? How you doing? He said, looks like Nicole has been working out. No, it said Nicole Tepper, David Tepper, David Garber. Oh crap, that is Vi Lyles. Oh my goodness. Okay, my bad. That's the mayor of Charlotte, Vi Lyles. I'm sorry. I didn't even recognize her. Said I don't know the end caps. Okay, gotcha. Hold on. I'm sorry, Don, not David. Okay, Don Garber. Okay, gotcha. Said they got New Jersey, but we don't. Shaking my head. Well, no, well, let me see. Um, the dude next to David Tepper in the right of this picture, him and Vi Lyles are holding their I think the regular MLS jerseys, and David Tepper is holding one they wore the other night as a throwback to the Charlotte Lightning that won some kind of a what was it, the ALS or AS something, American Soccer League or something like that, back in like 82 or 83 down at Memorial Stadium. So they wore that the other day. I think that's just kind of like a throwback, because Charlotte FC has only been a team since what, 2022 or 21, 22, whichever one it was. So we'll see, we'll see. But now mind you, I don't dislike our uniforms. I mean, now mind you, I don't want a total. If we do get new uniforms, I hope it's not like a total just work over or whatnot. You know what I mean? Like that's like a total change. Um, I think they can do some things now to the ones we got to make them better. One, a white helmet would be dope. Okay, the black helmets that we have, I think they need to add a little bit of accents to like the stripes and the logo. The blue on the black is cool, but I think it's needs something up on to make it pop a little bit. You know what I mean? No pun intended, popping. But yeah, you know what I mean. I think the uniforms we got now are dope. Cause let me tell you, if they decide to change the uniform, it's got to be something good. It's got. I had a whole spiel on this last week about them damn uniforms. If y'all missed it, go check it out. They disrespected us and said our uniforms are only better than the Cleveland Browns, and that is total shit. Total shit. There's no way that there are 30 teams in the NFL whose uniform set is better than the Carolina Panthers. I don't care if we've had the same uniform since '95. I don't care. Some of these people have had the same uniforms since '65. But I digress. All right. FC Panthers boy says Tepper is cheap when it comes to the Panthers. Ah, well, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. It's there's been a lot of changes since Tepper's taken over for the Panthers. A lot of changes. One thing I will say, and you might think he's cheap for the Panthers, but he spent a lot of money, in Charlotte. Not just uptown, in Charlotte, around Charlotte, outside of Charlotte. One thing the man is doing, he's investing his money in this area, and I gotta give him some praise for that. I really do. One thing he's doing, he's spending money, and he's putting it back into the local area and local and surrounding area. So hey, I can't hate on him for that. Let me see, GGNORE. What's going on, man? How you doing? Rock Jones, Saints get it white, but we can't. Come on, Tepper. Hey, let me say it'll probably come. It'll probably come. Yeah, you know. But but yeah, a white helmet would be nice. A white helmet would be nice. You get the powder blue shirts with the white pants and white helmet. Now that would be dope. That would be really dope. I like that. White helmet, blue stripe, dope. Yeah, dope. White helmet, blue stripe, but the stripe has like kind of like a black accent or border up on it. That would be dope. I like that. Roger Jones said he better come with those new color helmets when we get that restructured stadium. Hey, we'll see. We'll see. The Colts are higher than us on the uniforms. Yes, dog. The Colts have had the same uniforms since God Almighty, since the American Revolution, dog. They have had the same uniforms forever, forever, and they got them. Now, mind you, I don't disagree with the number one spot, the Chargers. I saw a video of their whole uniform set the other day, and I was like, you know what? Those are pretty dope. The Chargers do have dope uniforms, but yeah, like the Colts, the Steelers, the Cowboys. The Cowboys, the most they've done to their uniform in the past, God knows how long, is they put the little the red stripe on the helmet. You know what I mean? And they do have like those little was it the alternate uniform, like the alternate white uniforms or whatever, but yeah, nah man. They got the damn Jacksonville Jaguars uniforms better than ours. Like, come on, dog. Come on. But all right, that was a topic for last week's show. Let me go ahead and move on. Okay, all right. So we got it. Lee Lilly, North Carolina Secretary of Commerce, and Johnny Harris, co-chair of the Charlotte Sports Foundation Board of Directors. Okay, so those are the guys on the far left and right of David Tepper. Okay, got you. Thanks, baby. Appreciate it. All right. Chargers Powder Blues are nice. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yep. T Cole, what's going on with you, big dog? How you doing? All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, and now we're going to get into the main topic. Okay, the main topic. Well, one of the main topics. All right. Now, as I said earlier, rookies are reporting to training camp on Monday the 21st. Okay. And I said, hopefully, all of our rookies will report. And if you are a Panther fan that must be up under a rock somewhere or haven't been under a rock somewhere, you know that Nick Scorton, our second round pick, has not signed his contract. Okay. And what you see on the screen, of course, Nick Scorton there on the left, but up at the top right, okay, you have Jaden Higgins, the wide receiver from the Houston Texans, and Carson Schweshinger, all right, the linebacker for the Cleveland Browns, all right. And the thing is, this whole thing started. It started with Jaden Higgins, first of all. His contract isn't about $11 million. And before this, the link is pinned in the chat if anybody wants to come up here and chop it up, okay? But it started with Jaden Higgins. His contract isn't about $11 million total because everybody knows that there is a rookie pay scale for their rookie contracts. So the money is set. Now you can negotiate the languages and this and that and the third. But the Houston Texans gave him his entire contract, fully guaranteed. Okay. So I think maybe like a day or so later, Cleveland followed suit and did the same thing with Carson Schweshinger and gave him his whole contract guaranteed as well. So the holdup this whole time has been everybody just playing like a waiting game, seeing who I guess would be the next team to budge and or who would be the next player to sign a contract and see what they're going to get. Because it's the whole thing where, okay, well, crap, hey, they second round picks, they got their whole contract guaranteed. Well, hell, I want to get my whole contract guaranteed too. And then you got a situation where just say that, okay, Tyler Show, all right, Tyler Show was a Saints second round pick. And hold on, let me bring up the draft order because I meant to do that earlier. Draft second round. Okay. So not Carson, Tyler Show was the 41st, no, the 40th pick. Okay. The number 8 pick in the second round, 40th pick overall by the Saints. Okay. And I think what's happening is too, not Carson, damn, I keep saying the name. Tyler Show. I heard this from a Saints podcast. I forgot the name of it. Good show though. And I think what's happening is Tyler Show is trying to negotiate and get the guarantee money as well, because there's the potential for him to be the starting quarterback, for the Saints this year. Okay. Now, mind you, I don't know if anybody else has signed yet, but just think about it. If you're when I made this slide, the only people that had signed their contracts, Jaden Higgins, Carson Schwessinger. Okay. Everybody else in the second round has not signed. Okay. So just think, if you were the pick after Jaden Higgins, and you're Nick Emanwari, okay, the safety that came out of South Carolina. All right. And just say you get wind of this Tyler Show situation, and you're like, oh, well, you know what? Yeah, let me make sure that I don't sign until somebody, because I think the thing is, like, if you got somebody that gets picked 5 spots below you and ends up getting, a contract guaranteed, you're picked higher than that. You're gonna be like, well, hey, this dude was picked after me. If they value him that much, you need to value me that much as well, and go ahead and guarantee my salary too. You know what I mean? And then that brings me to my man on the bottom right here, Alfred Collins, the tackle for the 49ers out of LSU. Now, he signed his contract. I think he was on the third one to sign his contract in the second round. And he's got about I think out of his, oh, I meant to write this down, but out of his contract, he doesn't have it fully guaranteed, but I think about 80 or 90% of his contract is guaranteed. Okay. So I don't know if that's going to make some more dominoes fall, between now and Monday, because if I'm not mistaken, according to the collective bargaining agreement, rookies cannot practice in training camp until they sign their contracts. Okay, so I mean, it's a crap ton of players who are still unsigned, and if I'm not mistaken, the first holdout was for the Chargers. It was Trey Harris, the wide receiver out of Ole Miss. Okay, so I don't know if he reported for camp and didn't practice, or he didn't show up at all, but he is not out there practicing with the team. Okay. Now, hopefully the Panthers can get this done before camp, because it seems like every situation has been where, okay, we're still working on the contract, but if I'm not mistaken, everybody has shown up to their team's respective training camps, OTAs, workouts, all that good stuff, except for Shamar Stewart. I know he was with the team. I think maybe he was working out, but he was not practicing, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I think he was the only one. Everybody else, I mean, as you can see here on the screen, they have showed up, they're practicing, they've doing OTAs, all that good stuff. But, we officially have one in Trey Harris. And if they don't get anything done by Monday, hell, we're gonna have another one with Nick Scotton. Okay. So hopefully, the Panthers, Dan Morgan and Brant Tillis and all them guys, and Nick Scotton's representation, his agent and all that. Hopefully they can get this deal done and he can be on the field come Monday. Or if it doesn't happen on Monday, hopefully it doesn't take too long after that for it to happen. Okay. Because at some point, somebody's got to give in. Okay, somebody's got to give in, and it's not like this is the 6th rounders or the 7th rounders that are holding out on their money. These are 2nd round picks. You got a lot of these picks, especially somebody like Nick Scotton, who in a lot of drafts was the 1st round pick that fell all the way down to number 51. Okay, fell all the way down to 51. So, a lot of these guys are expected to be starters on their teams. So, like I said, somebody has to cave eventually. All right. And I'm going to put money that it's going to be these teams. I do believe that, and my wife says this all the time. It's not like you got all these guys that are out here that are, um, dependent on this rookie contract per se. We got a time now where we have the NIL. These cats have deals in college. It's not like they're like, oh, I got to sign my deal so I get my first check because I'm struggling, my family's struggling, this and that, and the third. I mean, most of these cats, shoot, they come to the NFL now, they got money. So, like I said, I put money on the teams folding first before these young men do. So we'll see. Panthers boy said the Titans Oilers throwbacks are my favorite. Warm moon, powder blue, or white. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see that. The old school Oilers uniforms are pretty dope. I do like those. Dig it, what's going on, man? where in God's name have you been at, bro? I ain't seen you on here in a minute, man. What's good with you? The car says Saints fans really think they better than us with their .75 QBs. I mean, hey, I put it like this. I ain't mad at anybody for believing in their team. Okay, I'm not mad, but you gotta be realist. You gotta be real with yourself and your situation at the end of the day. Okay, and I know I say that, and somebody is looking at the screen right now. Well, you like Bryce Young? You got to be real with that. Hell, I am being real with it. So for those of you that thinking that, I am. He said, "Damn agents." Hey, but you know what though? The crazy thing was the Texans started this. The Texans started this. The Texans, if I'm not mistaken, they bucked the trend. Because usually these second round picks don't get their whole contracts fully guaranteed. Now, over the years, the amount of guaranteed money for these second round picks has gone up. I think at one point I read the amount of guaranteed money for a contract might have been like 10, 15, 20%. And now the last few years, it's jumped up always to where cats are getting 70, 80, sometimes even 90% of their contracts guaranteed. So hey, if I'm reading into this right, if you want to point the finger at somebody right now, blame Houston and Cleveland. Okay. But like I said, the teams are going I do believe the teams are going to fold first, but we'll see. All right. Mr. Hunky Dory, what's good with you, man? Said we ain't got no time for rookie demanding a guaranteed contract. Prove yourself first. Get off my field with this junk. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you, but these are the times that we live in. This is what's going on now. So we are here. Hopefully, we're not here very, very long. Okay. Because, like I said, this is a position for the Panthers. All right. That we desperately need help and we need to improve on this season. And he is going to be a major part of this. All right. So, like I said, they need to do what they got to do and get this man signed. All right. Let me see. It's a league wide thing, Hunky Dory. You see, like 5 second round picks signed today. So the Don. Oh, okay. Okay. Ed, let me tell you. I have not been paying attention to it today. Let me tell you, I was at work and I was doing stuff. And I go sit at my desk. I was working on these slides for about 10 minutes. And I get up, I'll be gone for an hour. I come back, work on these slides for 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, okay. So I got to look and see who exactly signed. Hold on, let me see. See if I can look that up real quick. See exactly who signed. Um Okay, I'll look it up later. I ain't gonna hold y'all up with that one. Let me see, because I got the vid muted right now, so I can only respond to chat. Okay, gotcha. Nine dime all the time. What's going on, Mitch, man? How you doing? Miss Hunky Doris, NIL ruining college. NFL different though. In the car, you may have been a Heisman winner in college and be a dud in the NFL. Come back after a year of playing. Yeah. Diggy said the only thing not going up is respect for the fans. Mm, I can agree with that. These young Thundercats ungrateful. Man. Hey, these young Thundercats. Hey, Supernova Moore, you got to be like me. You got to be in your 40s. That is the saying of a 40-year plus man, 40-year-old plus man, these young Thundercats. I love it. I love it. I love it. Clay, what's going on, Clay, with the Rockstar Report? So CJ, what's up? Much love, brother. Keep that TikTok grind going. I see you. Yo, let me tell you, man. Hey, it's funny, Clay, because I sat here for like 2 hours last night making a short, for YouTube and for TikTok and all that. And I came across just like these picture here that Nick Scorton has, some of the pictures for the defensive linemen on the Panthers Facebook page, and then I put it the background music what is it Here I Go by Mystical. And I'm sitting there trying to get all the stuff changed in the right spot and this and that and the third. And I ain't gonna lie, I went and put that thing up there and I was like, crap, the ones I put all this effort into, don't nobody watch. I said, but the ones that I be at work and I take 5 minutes to do something and throw a bunch of random pictures in there, everybody and their mama watch it. But I appreciate you, Clay, man. I appreciate it. I see you over there too, big dog. It's not the player, Sunky. It's the league giving out guaranteed contracts. Agents doing what's best for their clients. Now, I will agree with that. I will agree with that because, like I was saying earlier, you got these guys out here that, okay, these guys got guaranteed contracts. I got to see what everybody else is going to do because, like I said, you got Tyler Show, who was pick number 40. You got Nick Emanwari, who was the third pick in the second round. My thing is, if the Saints mess around and feel like, oh, Tyler Show, we're going to go ahead and guarantee your whole contract so you can get in here. And just say Nick Emanwari signed his contract before that. He didn't get his whole contract guaranteed. He going to feel like, well, crap, I should have waited because this dude got picked 5, 6, 7, 8 spots below me. So excuse me. So we'll see. So need players who want to play here though. Sorry, y'all. And trust me, I do believe Nick Scorton is one of them players. He wants to be here. He has been locked in this entire process. Mini camp, rookie camp, mandatory OTAs, all that stuff. He has been locked in, and that's been the word coming from the Panthers and all the reporters. He wants to be here. Okay. And with this one, I'm not mad at this situation at all. I just wish they would hurry up and go ahead and do something with it. But this is one of the things I'm just like, I'm not mad at them guys wanting the same contracts or the same, not the same contracts, but the same, guarantee, the same commitment with the guaranteed money that some of these other guys got. I'm not mad at that, but we'll see. We'll see. Zungy Doris said, I know, Nakora, I'm just too old school for this. They're definitely right with all this NIL. Hey, but okay, but you know what though? Let me speak on the NIL though. All right. I'm not mad at the NIL. I'm not mad at it at all because you got to think the amount of money that these schools have been making on the backs of these kids for years. Years. And if somebody, before the NIL deal came about, if somebody went out and bought you dinner, that was I think that could be considered a violation, a college football violation. You know what I mean? Somebody bought you a pair of shoes or something. It's a violation. In what was it? Improper benefits, if I'm saying that right. Things like that. I trust me. I'm not mad at NIL. I say you go out there, especially the way things are now. You got all these different companies with their marketing teams, especially you got local companies around these college towns and stuff like that. They're going out, they're getting these kids, their faces are there, they're known. They're going out there, they're paying them little money, and their faces and their products are now all over the place. Okay, so for me, NIL, I think it's a win-win. I know I don't have no issue with it though. But yeah. Hold on. Chargers Trey Harris signed. Oh, okay, well bet. So he back at training camp then. What should be at least by tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, I saw that one. Gotcha. Dan hasn't sounded panicked about the situation at all, so I'm not panicked about it. This is true. This is true. And even in all the articles that I've not heard, but even all the articles that I've read, and even on some of the other podcasts and some of the things, I don't get a sense from anyone like that this is it's panic time. Like nobody has hit the panic button yet. So I agree with you, Nicole. 32 watching and 16 likes. Come on, people, do better. Hey, yeah, I appreciate y'all. Hey, if y'all watching, go ahead and give me a like, man. If you're watching on Facebook, give my page a like. If you're watching on X, go ahead and give me a follow. If you're watching here on YouTube, like the stream. And also, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you, Dig It. Appreciate you, big dog. The car said these dudes are getting into 100 car crashes in a row on the field. I'm not mad at them trying to be paid. Yes, Nakari, I agree. 5% of them going to get brain trauma and go off the deep end. Get the money while you can. NFL equals not for long. Well, okay, I wasn't gonna take it that far, but yeah, I mean, shit, you're not right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, buddy. Not wrong. Broncos and second round pick running back RJ Harvey reached an agreement today on the 4-year deal. Okay, all right, cool. So the dominoes are falling. So hopefully, what's today? Thursday. Yeah, shoot. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow. Let's put our fingers together for tomorrow that Nick scored and have a deal. My thing is, shit. The man is making what? His whole contract is gonna be what, like 10, $11 million, and 10. Shit, man, just get the man the money. Shit, give him the money. Okay, here we go. Carson Schwarzenegger, Jaden Higgins, Alfred Collins, Trey Harris, Ozzie Trapilo, Tate Ratledge, and R.J. Harvey. Okay, okay. Tico said, "Are they all fully guaranteed?" No, because now I know for certain that Alfred Collins is not. He has a big chunk of it that is guaranteed, but it's not fully guaranteed. Now Trey, Ozzy, Tate, and RJ, I don't know about theirs yet, but all of them are not, because I know for sure Alfred Collins, his whole contract is not guaranteed. I think his is around 10, and I want to say about like 8.5, 9 of it is fully guaranteed. So yeah, all right. Let me see. Miss Hunky Dory said, "Thank you, Nakari. Been too busy to keep up." Hey, let me tell you, I didn't even know that anybody else had signed besides Alfred Collins. So I thank you too, Nakari. Okay, here we go. Mike Green, Trey Amos. Hold on, Shamar Turner. Oh, Shamar Turner. Okay, I'm thinking about Stewart. Never mind. Got you. Okay, cool beans. All right, hey. So yeah, tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and say we're gonna see something tomorrow or Saturday. Go ahead and get that man in training camp. Yeah, it is interesting, T Cole. It really is. It really is. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Carr said Carson, Jaden, RJ Harvey, 2 years fully guaranteed, third year not. Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Carson and Jaden are fully guaranteed. Okay, bet. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate you, big dog. All right, so Nick Scott still not signed. Hopefully by this time tomorrow, maybe Saturday, hell Sunday, whenever. I don't give a damn when they do it. Hopefully they get it done before Monday in time to report for camp. Because I guarantee you, if Nick Scott is not already in Charlotte, I guarantee you he is on his way to Charlotte. Okay, I would put a few dollars on that if somebody wanted to bet. I don't think the Panthers are gonna let this go too long. All right, but let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so now we're doing a little bit of a training camp preview, and so what I got up here first, we're going to talk about the defensive line, and I call this one the Great Wall of Carolina. Okay, and I called it that because I'm hoping that what we saw from last year's squad does not, I repeat, does not carry over into this year for our defense, for our down linemen. Okay. Derek Brown will be back. I think just by that alone, even with last year's squad, you bring Derek Brown back, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference. Okay. And I have Tershawn Wharton and Bobby Brown the third here on the screen as well. And I kind of got them set up, as they will line up on the field. You got Derek Brown on the left, Turk on the right, Bobby in the middle. Okay. So what I'm hoping is that this combination here will be the start of what will be a much better run defense. Okay. We gave up 4.6 billion rushing yards last season. All right. And I know it wasn't that much, but it felt like it. Okay. And like I said, I do think with just Derek Brown being back, it will help. But that guy right there in the middle, okay, I think is going to be a big a big change. All right. Let me see. Hold on. The car said Nick scoring all right team hotel practicing his report to camp walk. They said the Great Wall of Lina. Oh, okay. I like that. I like that. I'm sorry. No, Nakari said that. My bad. Damn. I'm looking at the other comment. Dig it. Okay. Thank you for the $2 super chat. He said I'm putting two on it. Okay. All right. I got you. Well, if it doesn't work out, I'll give you your $2 back. Derek Brown looked like he carried an old school suitcase as a lunchbox. Hey, let me tell you, man. But yeah. And from the tape that I have watched, especially with Bobby Brown. The one thing I think that's going to happen this year that didn't happen a lot last year is he's going to command a lot of double teams. Okay. Shy Tuttle, and for God's sakes, whoever the hell else was the backup nose tackle last year. Yeah, nah, that wasn't happening. That wasn't happening at all. Bobby Brown, he has power. He has a bull rush. He is able to shed blockers and get his hands around running backs. Get his hand. He can get to the quarterback. He is just a big, just what's the word I'm looking for? He's just one of those almost immovable objects that we haven't had in Carolina in quite a long time. Okay, I keep bringing up Starla Tulele because I feel like that was the last big force that we've had in the middle. Okay, and that was back when we was running the 4-3 instead of 3-4. So you had Starla Tulele, and then you had K1 Short was his running mate. And like I said, the reason why I bring this up because you see how that duo worked out. Starla Tulele was eating up blocks. He was eating up double teams. K1 Short getting to the quarterback, double digit sacks in one year. So hopefully it's a situation that could work out here. But let me tell y'all this though. Look at Bobby Brown and tell me in this picture, tell me he don't kind of look like the Panther logo a little bit. If you kind of pull his hair back like this, if they put like the not the logo like we have now with kind of like that side look, you know what I mean? But if you had like the Panther face like looking dead on, like they kind of do sometime in the big jumbotron, like tell me I'm like a scared brother right there in the middle. So I hope that's going to transfer onto the field as well. All right. Then you got Turk Wharton. Okay. And I saw a couple depth charts earlier when we signed him that still had Ashawn Robinson starting at that spot. I don't, and mind you, I don't knock anything that Big Ashawn Robinson has done. He said, "You've been having too much fertilizer. I don't know what you see." I got you in the car. But not trying to downplay anything that Ashawn Robinson did for us last year. I think he did. I think he did okay. I think he did good. All right. But I think Turk Wharton brings another dynamic. He can line up in the middle. He can line up he can line up at nose tackle. He lined up at nose tackle against us with the Chiefs last year. All right. And I seen the play where they hiked the ball. I mean, it was either K Mays or Christensen. I think it was Mays. Like took one arm, stood him straight up in the air, and I think Chuba was it Chuba. I think it was Chuba came by him on the play. Turk grabbed my man, slung him to the side, made the tackle. Okay. When I know Dan Morgan said, was it Dan Morgan or Ejiro Evero said when they first got here, they kind of looked like man, this is who we signed. Like he looked kind of small, but he had on big shirt, big jeans, or whatever. So when they saw him in his in his football gear, they were like, oh, okay, like okay, this is that guy. But Turk one, if I'm not mistaken, he was undrafted. Made his way up on the roster with the Chiefs. Ended up becoming a starter. But I think he is going to be a big signing for us because he'll definitely help with the run game, but he would definitely help get pressure on the quarterback. Okay. All right. And then we have Derek Brown. I mean, I can't sit here and say enough about Derek Brown that y'all don't already know. 2 years ago, 100 tackles from the defensive end spot. Got hurt first game of last year, and the team was not the same since. All right. All of last season. So yeah, but now mind you, what happens when they start rotating players out is a totally different story. All right, because behind Derek Brown, Bobby Brown, and Turk Wharton, you have Ashawn Robinson. Well, according to our lads right now, you have Ashawn Robinson behind Turk. They still have Shy Tuttle behind Bobby Brown the third, and then Cam Jackson, who the Panthers drafted this year, the nose tackle out of Florida. Like I said, I'm hoping that by the end of training camp preseason, you know, Hopefully Cam Jackson does enough where they swap that around and maybe they move Shy over to another spot. And then you have LeBron Ray. So we'll see. We'll see how that all works when they sub in and sub out. But I don't see, and I say all that to say, I don't see this running the run defense for the Panthers being that porous, just mess of whatever it was that we had last year. I don't see that with just these three guys right here. Okay, we have watched Derek Brown dominate for years here in Carolina. All right, the tape that I've seen on Bobby Brown, the tape that I've seen on Turk Wharton, and seeing him play against the Panthers last year, leads me to believe that the our down linemen, our 3-4 scheme, our nose tackle and our two ends will be much better, much better. Okay, we know Turk Wharton can get to the quarterback. We know Derek Brown can get to the quarterback. And like I said, if Bobby Brown in the middle can sit there and eat up those double teams, let these two guys eat, and our edge rushers as well, I think it's going to be a different day at the bank, Bryce of America Stadium, as it was called earlier. So yeah. So Great Wall of Carolina. I hope so. We shall see. All right. Nikari said he is Kimbo Slice. Oh, okay. Yeah. T Code 245 with DB and Turk in the middle. Sheesh. Yeah. 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 Yeah, buddy. Indeed, laughing in the car. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so these are our outside linebackers, our edge rushers. Okay, and I put the title on this slide as pressure. Okay, what type of pressure will we be able to get out of this unit this year? Okay, do y'all think that this unit? Okay, do y'all think that we have a solid edge rushing unit? Okay, Nick Scorton when he signs. All right, DJ Wanham, Pat Jones the second, and Princely Uman Mielen. Okay. I went back and looked at some highlights from Nick Scorton. Nick Scorton, he had 5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss last year at Texas A&M. Okay, one thing that he has a combination of speed and power. Okay, and the thing with him is he can stack, he can shed blocks. He also has a nice spin move that I saw in a lot of his clips. Okay, he has a nice spin move, and he has a nice swim move as well, where he get that tackle set up, cut over cut over on the inside on him, and make his way to running back, quarterback, whoever has the ball. All right. He also has a nice bull rush as well. There was a lot of talk about him being 280 pounds last year at Texas A&M. He is down to 257, I believe, is now everything that I've seen. So we'll see. Then you have Princely Umar Mielen, 6'4", 247 pounds. And the crazy thing is, now you look at this picture here, and you think, okay, well, he looks a little small, looks a little slim. But the highlights that I've seen from Princely, okay, his main attribute right now is speed. Okay, if he can get off the ball and get that first step going, duck up under the offensive lineman, that's about 90% of the clips that I saw. That was his best move. Okay, and also what I saw from him is he's a lot stronger on his tape than just looking at him. You would look at him and be like, well, he don't look like, he gonna be able to hold up on the edge. He looked like maybe all he's gonna be good at is being a speed rusher. Okay, from the tapes I saw, he's got a little bit of a bull rush too. And also from what I've seen from our two rookies, I think it's something they're gonna have to work on, but it does look like they would be able to hold up in the run game as well. Okay, it does look like they will hopefully they will be able to help set the edges and keep those running backs, keep the containment on running backs, and be able to drive, especially on those toss plays, or outs or whatever. They can force the running back inside, and hopefully our Great Wall of Carolina, can clean up the play, tackle them, and we get on off the field. All right. Pat Jones. Okay, Pat Jones had 7 sacks last year, but the thing is, he had 4 of those sacks in the first 2 games. Okay, for the rest of the season, he had 3 sacks. Okay, three of them. Hopefully that won't be the case here. Even though, let me tell you, if he come out and gives us 4 sacks in the first 2 games of this season, I'm not going to complain, not one bit. Okay, not a bit. I hope he can continue that for the rest of the season. But the thing with Pat Jones is, you're looking at his tape, he has a little bit of it all. Okay, speed, power. He has a good bull rush. He can get around on the edge. He also can. I looked at he can line up inside and out. Okay, so there's a lot of tape where I've seen him. He's lined up. Not as he he's inside, and there's also a edge rusher on the outside of him. I don't know. I'm mumbling my words here. I apologize. I'm thinking too fast for my mouth to spit this stuff out. So my bad. But he can line up inside, he can line up outside. Okay. So that's one thing I saw that I liked out of him. And he is aggressive. He is very aggressive. Okay. So hopefully that will translate for us here as well. Now, DJ Wanham for me is the big question mark out of this group. Before I get on DJ Wanham, let me not forget we still have DJ Johnson. He's still one of our edge rushers. Amari Barno is still on the on the team as well. Where they'll fit into this, I have no idea. I don't know how many players we're keeping at the outside linebacker spot, so we shall see. DJ Wanham, I like what I saw from him last year. But the thing is his health. Okay. He only played in like 8 games last year. I forgot what issue he had last year, but it kept him out of camp, kept him out of OTAs, and it kept him out of the first half of the season almost. And then he came back and played some. I think he had about 4 or 5 sacks, which hey, I'll take. He played 8 games. He had 4 sacks. You know, last year you take what you can get with this bunch. But can he stay healthy? Okay, can he stay healthy? Can this group and the potential Great Wall of Carolina, will they be able to go out there and get pressure on the opposing quarterback? I said it before and I say it again. Other teams' quarterbacks had all day to sit back, find their receivers, check their email, put a load of clothes in the dryer, put another load in the washer, come back on the field, make a phone call, FaceTime the kids, and then go out there and make a play. Or at least that's how it felt to me. That's how it felt to me watching this group last year. Our edge rushers and our down linemen. For the most part, pressure was non-existent for the group. Okay. Opposing quarterbacks had way too much time to figure their stuff out against the Panthers. And you see what that led to. All right. Let me go back to some comments here. I said Princey looked like a star. TF. I don't know what TF is, my bad. Let me see. Wait, no, whoever 91 is. Pat Jones. Pat Jones. Pat Jones. Poppin says, I hope the Aints go broke trying to pay Tyler Show. Nah, they not gonna go broke. Let me tell you, they saved enough money with Derek Carr retiring. They trust me, they not going broke. If I'm not mistaken, they have more cap space than we do right now. And it's wild that they do, given the situation that they were in at the end of last season. So, hey, it's what it is. Spin move, Brian Burns 2.0 wash machine. Hey, Uncle Leroy, what's going on? It says CJ Nephews, how you doing, young man? Hope all's well with you and the family. Yeah, we doing good. My nephew CJ Payne. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. Earlier today, I was sitting there thinking, and I said, dang, who did he say I looked like last week? I got you now, Curtis Payne. I got you, CJ Payne. That's all right. I'll take that. Bobby said this pass rush should be far better than what people are expecting from last year, and that's what I get the feeling too. Okay, I get the feeling too, and you know one unit helps the other. And I know I keep saying this, I keep going back to this, but like I said, if our D linemen, okay, if our D linemen can get pressure, can push the offensive lineman back into the quarterback's face. All right. Big Bobby Brown in there can eat up double team blocks on crucial plays. That'll give these gentlemen here you see on the screen, chances to get to the quarterback. Because the thing is, you got to think about it. If a quarterback is sitting and hikes the ball and sits in the middle of the pocket and does not have to move much, that is better for the offensive linemen, especially the tackles that are trying to stop these gentlemen right here, because they can keep those defensive ends, outside linebackers in front of them. Okay, if we can get a rush and a push up the middle and force that quarterback to go right, left, or whatever, that's more opportunities for these edge rushers to be able to get off their blocks and get a hand on the quarterback. Okay, and like I said, but that didn't happen last year. Quarterbacks were sitting there just chilling, waiting for stuff to happen and making plays. So, like I always say, one group helps the other, helps the other, helps the other. So hopefully this will be the case again this year. Will be the case this year. All right. Let me see. Is that Moonshine CJ? No. Let me see. DJ Johnson hate watch. Get him off the squad. Keep an extra wide receiver. Let me tell you. And I know we're talking about defense, but I'm gonna veer off it for a second. It would not surprise me if somebody did get the boot this year that was there was a spot that got shorted this year that had an extra spot last year to keep all those wide receivers. So I'm just say that. Yeah. T. Cole, Nick going to be that all around beast. If you look around, most of the premium pass rushers are closer to 265 than 250 that can set a firm edge and get sacks with more than speed. Got you. Got you. Okay, T. Cole, got you. DJ Johnson and Barno are special team or cut. Yeah, let me tell you, I had high hopes for Amari Barno when he came here, and of course you fall into that 4.340 that he ran, and it's like, okay, cool, he ain't that big, but if they can bring him in here, if they can work on him, get his pass rush skill set down, and keep working on him, we might have something. But it never really panned out like that. Like you said, Papa, he's been more of a special teams, or not more. He's been damn near on special teams his whole career. He's got in the games when, especially um injuries. Especially we had a bunch of injuries. But other than that, yeah, he hasn't seen the field a whole lot. I'm not gonna say he hadn't seen the field at all, but he hasn't seen the field a whole lot. But yeah. But now, and I say that, and I say this too, it's really gonna be interesting what they do with DJ Johnson. Okay, again, I never forget me and Tony were throwing stuff at the screen on draft night a couple years ago when they got him, because they traded 2 picks to jump up and get him. Okay. And they said that they were like, okay, all of our defensive lineman prospects were coming off the board, and they didn't want to risk him being gone. I think he was the last one. And I'm just like, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Um, if we didn't go out and get Pat Jones, if we didn't go out and get Nick Scorton and Princely Umami Ellen on the roster this year, I might be inclined to say, okay, well, you know what? They got something brewing with DJ Johnson, and they're gonna throw that man in the mix. They're gonna work with him, see what he's doing. He might be a casualty this year. So we'll see. We'll see. Tico said, "Give me Barno over DJ, especially for special teams upside." I can agree with that. I can agree with that. And I ain't gonna lie, I kind of feel bad for DJ Johnson as well, because I don't, he wasn't drafted into the best situation on that defense. Um, I don't want to say that he doesn't have it. To me personally, it feels like, we haven't been able to see exactly what he can do, on a consistent basis, because he doesn't get that much playing time. But, we'll see. We'll see. August 8th, 7 p.m., first preseason game ain't nothing but propaganda till then to me. I hear you, Miss Unky Dory. I hear you. Oh, gotcha. My bad in the car. My bad. I'm ready to be delusional. We going to the bowl. Man, I hope so. I hope so. Uncle Leroy says our defensive line going to be more secure than Trump's security team. Oh my goodness, yo, let me tell you, hey, I hope so. They let that man get shot in the ear, supposedly. Hey, Panther Boy said, yes, we are in the car. The car said defensive MVP JC Horn, comeback player of the year, Derek Brown. Okay. I can see that. I can see that. Now I probably said that. There we go. There go. Probably say yeah, Super Bowl. LOL. Hey, look, the Q call you and tell you this to say that. DJ Johnson had one good play last year. Shoot, you got to tell me what play that was. Shoot, I don't even remember that. See, DJ Johnson is disgrace. Help me, please, Neff. Like I said, man. I just haven't seen enough out of him. And I don't think it's necessarily all his fault. If that makes sense. I think he needs more playing time on the field. But like I was saying, with this group that we have here in front of us now, I don't know if he's gonna get that opportunity. So we'll see. Um, no, Nakari told me that finna be your local postman. Man, stop, Nakari, stop. So I don't feel bad for DJ Johnson. He had opportunities. He ain't got it. He been on the field a bunch. The boy is cheek, says. See, I know that name, LOL, when I'm on a roll. Oh my God, yo. Miss Uncle Dory said we can pick up a wide receiver and one get injured. We got others that can step up, but injury on O line and D line scare me. D line especially. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Facts, facts. We're gonna get into that too here in a little bit with what's my biggest concern on the defense going this season as well. You can cut Trimble and fill his spot with DJ Johnson. At least he is healthy. I And if anybody's wondering, DJ Johnson was a converted tight end. He played tight end in Oregon, and they moved him over to defensive end. Um, don't think that's gonna happen, popping. And I will not stand for the Tommy Tremble slander. Okay, I will not stand for it. All right, we are not cutting Tommy Tremble. He said, "Popping Cody." We need that longest yard type of defense, nephew. A little knocking tops off. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. These, let me tell you, these guys got to get aggressive. And one thing, they got to communicate. They've all got to be on the same page. I've seen so many plays going back and looking at film, and watching film breakdowns from some of the other great content creators out there. I would say a good 60 to 70% of the time, a lot of the plays on us, especially in the passing game, was because somebody was did not know where they were supposed to be, or they weren't where they're supposed to be. Okay, you got players out there. I seen it play with Trevor Wallace. Mind you, this man's out there trying to decide whether he's going to get the tight end coming across the field or the back coming out of the backfield. When, mind you, I forgot who it was, should have went to the flat, and then Trevor Wallace would have took the tight end going across the field. You see Trevor get to a point, he's just like, and then the quarterback's like, well, hell, I could throw either one of them, and they complete the pass. But yeah, but they gotta communicate. Yeah. We need Tommy Hurdle for no reason. True. Yeah, that play was funny. That play was hilarious. He out there jumping. It's like, bro, like you jumping over nothing. Like, what are you jumping for? It said, old Durham Palmer said that is deep but truthful. Let me see. DJ stands for Dookie Juice. Yeah, he's man. Come on, Uncle Leroy. Don't do DJ Johnson like that, man. Let me tell you. Hey, I'm stick by what I said, man. I don't believe it's. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Now if he gets, but like I said, he might be a casualty because of what you see right here on the screen. I don't know if he's gonna have another shot at it. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's move on from the outside linebackers and go to our inside linebackers. Okay. And I also put a short out on this the other day about who is our field general. You know, and I think I mentioned that on either last week's live or the live before that as well. Okay. So I think it's safe to say that Josie Jewell is, we have two inside linebackers on the field out there on, when our base set. All right. Three down linemen, four linebackers, four defensive backs. Okay, so you got your two inside linebackers. Josie Jewell is going to be out on the field. All right, but do you think that there's going to be a battle for that other inside linebacker spot between Trevin Wallace and newly acquired Christian Roseboom? Okay, now mind you, Christian Roseboom comes over from the L.A. Rams. Had over 100 tackles last year. You go back and look at some of his tape. The one thing I would say about Christian Roseboom, when he diagnoses the play, he's out. He takes off. When he figures out where that ball is going, he is gone. He is out and he is chasing that play down. He made a lot of plays like that. A lot of plays. He has got I would say decent speed. I think he's got pretty good speed, to run down these tight ends and linebackers and things like that. Pretty good hands. I've seen him intercept a couple balls as well last year too. Trevor Wallace being a rookie. With think about it. Okay. I think Trevor Wallace was drafted and the plan was for him to sit back for a season and learn under Josie Jewell and Shaq Thompson. That did not pan out at all. Shaq Thompson got hurt a few games in. Josie Jewell battled injuries during the season. Sometimes it was Trevin Wallace and damn, what's his name? Claude and Shirellis out there as our inside linebackers. You know what I mean? So he had to learn on the fly. And like I said, there's a lot of film out there where there are plays where somebody else is out of position. There are plays when Trevin Wallace, was out of position. So it was a learning process. And this was a team last year, this defense, that was not a good environment for somebody to go out there and try to learn on the fly. When you have all these injuries, everything is going on, and like I said, it's just a lot of other people weren't where they're supposed to be too. All right, you got that porous defensive line that's not doing you any favors in front of you. Okay, so but let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think there's a chance that Roseboom comes in and takes that spot from Trevor? Okay. Do you think it'll be Jewell and Roseboom out there as our starting inside linebackers, or do you think this is Trevor's spot to lose? Okay. Let me see. The card said he can be the towel boy. Final offer. Mr. Hunky Dory said no fabric sheets. Papa said, boy, this linebacker room is hurting unless we get a diamond on the roster we haven't seen yet. Well, Papa, let me see. Behind these guys right here, we have Claude and Shirellis, who I mentioned, Jacoby Wyndham, who started a couple games for us last year. Again, injuries, went out there, I'm not gonna say he, just destroyed everything out there, but he wasn't bad. He played good. Okay. Could have been a lot better, but he played decent. Let me see. We got John Radigan, Namaru to a Civi, and Bam Martin Scott. I might have that name wrong. Okay, to a Civi Namaru. I said his last name first. All right. And Bam Martin Scott. So that's what we have backing up, these three. So I'm going to hope and pray that we have a healthy season in this linebacker room as well. Okay, because it might be some more of last year going on if we have the injuries at the inside linebacker like we had last year. All right, so let me see. 56 is our plateau Matthews. Okay. Reference to Clay Matthews. I got you. They couldn't wait to get rid of Roseboom in LA. They said he's trash. Oh, okay. Gotcha. But shit, hey, well, we'll see. We'll see. One day, like I said, he was a tackling machine last year. 130 tackles. So, but we'll see. And it's crazy because before me and Tony started Two Fans, I never paid two craps of attention to Panthers training camp. Okay, always been a Panthers fan. I watched the preseason games and the regular season games. That was it. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. The lure training camp has got me the past couple years, and you get there and you see these guys out there making all these plays, and you get hyped up. And I ain't gonna lie, what I have learned is training camp is cool, training camp is fun. You're glad to see people out there making plays. You pray for them to make those plays out there at training camp and stay healthy. But now, I'm realizing it is training camp. They are out there practicing and playing against each other, their own teammates, unless you have like a practice with another team or whatever. So, but yeah, training camp is me personally, training camp is what it is. It's training camp. And I think I've gotten caught into that the past couple of years where I'm just like, ooh, such and such doing this, such and such doing that. And then come damn preseason, regular season, you're like, which we ain't seeing a damn thing we saw in training camp. So yeah, maybe a good thing we can't go to training camp this year. But like I said, hopefully they go out there and do what they got to do, but it can translate into the regular season. So we'll see. Sunky Doris said, I think this group will hold up, nothing special, but will hold B minus or C plus from what I know so far. Okay. All right, I got you. Nader, what's going on with you? How you doing? Said, what's going on with our draft pick not signing? Okay, so we talked about that earlier, and they are Jaden Higgins and Carson Schwarzenegger were the first two picks in the second round. For Higgins for the Texans, Schwarzenegger for the Browns, and what they did was they have their rookie scale pay scales, but they fully guaranteed their contracts. And now all these other picks in the second round are sitting there looking like, well, hell, I want all my contract fully guaranteed too. So that's what we're kind of waiting on now. A few more people, as Nakari and everybody's put in the chat, have signed today. So hopefully the domino will start falling on the rest of them signing. Hopefully Nick Scorn will be one of the first of them. But everybody's waiting to see kind of who's going to fold first. Is it going to be one of the players just like, oh man, screw it, let me go ahead and sign my contract? Or is another team going to be like, well, all right, well, bet we need you here. Let's go ahead and give you this whole contract and guarantee all of it. So that's basically what's happening. They're waiting to see how it plays out, these players and the agents and the teams and stuff. But yeah, so that's what's happening with him. Hopefully, this will all be done and over with before Monday's report date for the rookies for our training camp. Yeah. Aren't we practicing with the Texans this year? If I'm not mistaken, we are practicing. Hold on. Let me pull up the schedule here. Because I think we're practicing with two teams this year. The Browns, yeah, the Browns and the Texans, I do believe. Yep. Yep. The Browns are practicing here. And then I do believe when we're playing Houston in Houston, I think we're going to have a joint practice. I couldn't think of the word earlier. We have a joint practice with them. Yeah. But I do believe you're right, Pop. I do think we are. All right. But all right, but so y'all let me know, okay? Y'all think we're gonna have a battle for the number 2 inside linebacker spot, or like I said, is it you think Rose Boom will get it, or is it Trevin Wallace is to lose? All right, now let's go ahead and move on. All right, the no-fly zone, okay? Which I hope this is what this is going to be this year. All right, we have our Pro Bowl corner J.C. Horn, who for what not even 24 hours was the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. I think that might have lasted a day, and then Pat Surtain, the second, got his money in Denver. Okay, we have Mike Jackson. All right, and from what I can tell, there are mixed views on Mike Jackson in this secondary. Me personally, I think Mike Jackson held up pretty good. Me and Doug, I always joke with Doug, and I be like, Mike Jack good. All you gotta do is keep a safety over the top, you know. But if you look at a lot of plays where Mike, people like, oh, Mike Jackson got beat. There was supposed to be somebody over the top on that particular play. Go back to the first game of the season last year in the Saints game when I forgot my man name, number 22, caught that pass. Mike Jackson turns around, looks like, hey, bro, where you at? So we'll see. Trayvon Merrick came over from the Raiders. All right. Run stop and safety. Play down in the box. Ejiro Evero also said that you might see him play at big nickel linebacker slot some this year. So they really love him. And then at the free safety spot, right now it looks like it's Damani Richardson's job. Okay. So right now we have Damani Richardson and Nick Scott as his backup right now. And then backing up Trayvon Merrick, we have Lathan Ransom with the Panthers. I forgot what round pick he was out of Ohio State. Okay. So the strong safety spot, I think, is pretty, pretty decent. I would more than decent. I think it's pretty good. The starter and the backup. Um, I think Damani Richardson, he showed flashes last year. Do the Panthers trust him enough to give him that starting spot this year? We shall see. Okay, we shall see. But I do like this group. Okay, and again, I'll say this like I said earlier. All right, you get the defensive line to plug up the middle. You get these edge rushers to get pressure on the quarterback, hurry the quarterback, maybe bat some passes down. Like I said, free up these linebackers to make plays, and they can free up the secondary. Okay. Now, mind you, like I said, these quarterbacks had all day to sit out there and just look and wait for people to get open. My thing is, on a lot of these plays, you're asking the secondary to be back there for God knows how long, trying to keep these guys covered. All right. And then, you have Evero mostly playing like cover two, cover three, so they're out there in the zone, and it's a lot of pressure on these guys. Okay. The one thing that I will say is I'll wait till the next slide. All right. But for this, hopefully this is our no-fly zone. Barring any injuries, as let me see, somebody said it. Okay, Uncle, no, Casey Reeves. Yeah, I think Mike Jackson is solid. I think this whole group is solid right here. I think this whole group is solid, and hopefully they can stay on the field together the entire season. Okay, miss a game here and there, I can deal with that. But long stretch for anybody, we might have some problems. All right. Let me see. Uncle Leroy said Mike Jackson is more like Tito Jackson at DB without the guitar strings broken. Said little Nas, I rocks them nephew. Yeah, I think Mike Jack is solid. I think Mike Jack is solid. I think he's a solid QB. I think he's a solid cornerback for us. And yeah. Let me see. Diggy says, CJ, are you expecting any signings from post camp cuts? I don't know. I do not know, but we'll see. What I am hoping for, what I'm hoping for, is some signings, and it's only a few days away. I'm hoping for some signings before camp. To be quite honest with you, okay. And let me go ahead and get into the next slide. And before I do that, what's going on, Mr. Earl? How you doing? Appreciate you joining. All right, before I get the next slide here, okay, my biggest concern on this defense is the depth in our secondary. Okay. Nick Scott up here, he is our right now, according to our last ESPN, he's our backup free safety. Okay. Um, you know me, Nick Scott did not look good from the jump last year. Okay, from the jump. He was one of Evero's guys. He was with him when he was out there in LA. Hell, he helped the Rams win the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Okay. Excuse me. So you figure he comes in, he's gonna be a solid piece out there behind Jordan Fuller, who was another one of Evero guys that they brought in. It just did not work out. It did not work out. Fuller got hurt. Nick Scott had to play. He did not look good. Okay. So um that free safety spot, and there are still other free safeties out there. Julian Blackman from the Colts, who was with the Colts last year, is still out there, still hasn't signed. He visited with the Panthers. So digging when you were saying expecting any signs, to me personally, I hope that's maybe one of the signings that they could get done before camp starts. Who knows? All right. But you'll probably see a lot. Well, you'll probably see a lot of signings during camp. Okay, during camp, like the Panthers have done over the past few years. I mean, hell, we were good in the camp a couple years ago, and they picked up Justin Houston. And I ain't gonna lie, God, all of a sudden I was like, okay, bet Justin Houston, he gonna come in here, he gonna be opposite Derrick Brown. Yeah, nah, that didn't work out for us. So we'll see. Um, at Now that's at safety. Okay, then our backups at cornerback, you have Shamar Bartholomew, Caleb Evans, and MJ Devonshire. Okay, those are our backups. We have Shao Smith Wade as our nickel back. All right, but my thing is, J.C. Horn gets hurt, Mike Jackson gets hurt, Shao Smith Wade gets hurt. Hell, if this plays out just like it is, um, Monty Richardson gets hurt. This is what we have behind them. Okay, if the Panthers can, for me, the one thing I want them to do the most, before, during, or hopefully, like Diggy said, post cuts at training camp, do something with the depth at safety. Okay. The depth at safety. This is my biggest concern on this defense right now. Okay. I like where our defensive line is at. I like where our edge rushers, our outside linebackers at. I even like the inside linebackers as well. Mind you, like I said, they can all stay healthy. I think we got a decent group. Okay. Could it be improved? I think so. I think so. But if they all can stay healthy, that'll probably be something that they wait till next year and try and tackle in the draft. But we'll see. We'll see. Um, but yeah, this group right here, the backups, the depth in the secondary is my biggest concern for this defense going into training camp and the regular season in 2025. Yep. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Nick Scott is what his last name said. He's Scott Tissue, the boy. Oh, and that's what Miss Dory said. One ply. Okay, got you. I saw the one ply before I saw Uncle Leroy's comment. Oh, so Nick Scott is a fresh band-aid put in the right. Yo, and it's crazy. And it's crazy because I thought there was no way in hell that he was gonna be back. No way. No way. Um, but now mind you, I think the only reason he is back is because Evero came back. All right. And I mean, not came back, but me included, I thought that there was no way in hell that Evero would still be the defensive coordinator this year as well. All right. But towards the end of last season, it became plainly clear that he would be back. Okay. I thought Evero was going to be gone. I thought Nick Scott was going to be gone. Even when Evero was, they said he was coming back, I said, okay, cool. Nick Scott came here, really didn't work out like that. I did not think he would be back. I really didn't. But but if I can sit here and be like, okay, you know what? I think Shot Total's gonna have a better season. DJ Johnson, it's not all his fault. Hey, I'm gonna give Nick Scott a shot too. Okay, I'm gonna give him a shot. Hopefully, this season is better than last. Again, like I said, you go back and look at a lot of the tape. They had communication issues. People were not what they were supposed to be when they were supposed to be and where they were supposed to be. I think that led to a lot of our issues. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope at least two of our undrafted free agents step up this season, CJ. Man, let me tell you, I hope so too. I hope so too. And the crazy thing is, and you think about it now, we have all these people at wide receiver. Now we're talking about defense. When you said undrafted free agents, think about our wide receiver room as well. You got Jacoby George and Kobe Hudson, okay, from Miami and UCF respectively. You know, my thing is, what if they go out there and ball out during the preseason, and in camp? So hey, we'll see. But on defense, let me see who we got. Oh goodness, let me see. We got Jack Henderson, the nickelback spot, Corey Thornton, cornerback, Trevian Thomas, free safety, Isaac Gifford, strong safety, Travis Broughton at cornerback, Michael Reed, I forgot what school he was from. He was undrafted free agent. Let me see, Jared Harrison Hunt. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, I'm getting some more comments here. Native said we have to win the time of possession. We ranked 31st last year. Run the ball, man. Let me tell you, I saw DJ Wanham's mic'd up game from when they played the Chiefs, and it was crazy because at one point in the clip he was like, "Hey man, three and out, three and out. We gotta get off the field." And I think it was Ashawn Robbins. Somebody came by and they were like, "Yeah, man." They was like, "These damn drives are too long," and that's what plagued us all year last year. All year, people would start drives in their inside their own 20, and just march down the field, and not necessarily these big giant plays where they're eating up a lot of space in a little bit of time. No, these were like lengthy drives. It was one thing that our defense had injuries, they weren't playing right, but then you giving up these long drives, you get them to third down, and then you giving up third and six, third and seven. Like I always say, it's third and 3 and 4, and our defensive backs are playing 10, 12 yards off of the wide receivers from the opposing team. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we definitely have to win the time of possession game. We definitely have to get more three and outs and get our defense off the field. Off the field. And on the other side of that, our offense needs to take advantage of the opportunities that hopefully the defense can give them. All right. We need to get that time of possession in our favor. We also need to force some turnovers. Okay. Defense need to force turnovers, fumbles, hell, turnovers on downs, um, interceptions. We gotta do better at that. We didn't do much of that at all last year. A few times, made a few good plays, but nothing like we really want to here in Carolina. Yeah. Let me see. Houston. Oh yeah, because I want to say they let him go, and he went and signed with I forgot who it was. It was somebody that was planning on be a Super Bowl contender. I forgot who he went with. Ransom. What do you mean, dig it? I think I must have missed that. Um, we got a rookie safety in Jack Henderson. He's pretty good. Okay, gotcha. Show Turtle gotta go. CJ ASAP shots. Hey, I'm standing by this, man. If they will not play that man at the nose tackle spot, I think Shaw Tuttle's gonna have a better season. I think he's gonna have a better season. But hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you because I've definitely had my issues with Shaw Tuttle as well. Uh, Nick Scott is C.J. Henderson, long lost older brother. Cut him, please. Oh man, yo, oh my goodness. Let me tell you. Oh, C.J. Henderson just makes me shake my head, man. It just makes me shake my head. I again, another person. I said, oh, they gave up on him too soon. He gonna come to Carolina and he gonna do his thing. Every time I think of C.J. Henderson, I think of that damn Tampa Bay game a few years ago when J.C. Horn couldn't play, and yeah, and he got torched. He said I was talking about definitely. I got you. I got you. Said CJ is all rainbows and unicorns tonight, hopes and dreams. Nah, I ain't gonna say it's all rainbows and unicorns. And I put it like this: if they don't make it, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my god, I can't believe they didn't make it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just saying, in certain situations, certain people, I think that if given the opportunity and maybe at a different spot, in Shy Total's case, we might see something different out of them. Okay. Now Nick Scott is damn sure a hope and a prayer from my end. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of one of them things. They brought him back. They brought him back, so I'm not going to sit here. Yes, he had a crappy season last year, but he's back on the team. I'm just going to hope and pray. Okay, I'm just going to hope and pray that he has a better season than last year. My thing is, if they're on the team, if he's on the team come the final cut, hey, I'm rooting for him. I might be talking shit to him, talking shit about him or whatever, but I'm still rooting for him. They on the team, so let me just leave it at that. Nick Scott pointing at the screen. He needs to look in the mirror and point at himself and say, "Self, I'm not the one." I mean, he gonna have to look in the mirror and be like, "Hey, bro, you right there. You gonna have to be better than last year." Yeah, he definitely got to do some self reflecting. Steven Belt, what's going on with you? Front office member here. What up? Going to watch the replay after I get up. All right, man. Appreciate you, big dog. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And hey, be safe out there, man. Oh, Lathan Ransom. Got you, D. Got you. That's what I'm saying. Um, he is going to be our backup strong safety. Okay, Nick Scott right now is going to be the backup free safety. That's why I don't have him on this picture. I'm okay with Lathan Ransom, the rookie. I think he's gonna come, I think he's gonna be good. Now, I did get the sense that it could be a situation where you see Trayvon Morick and Lathan Ransom both back there playing in the safety spot, free safety and strong safety. I do get that sense. I do think they can play late. They feel like they can play Lathan Ransom, at both safety spots. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Okay. Like I said, we'll see if the Monty Richardson, if it's his spot to lose or what. Let me tell you, I definitely know it ain't his spot to lose. At whatever the case, if Nick Scott is on the roster, is on the final roster, you can't convince me right now that he's not going to be the backup. Okay, I don't think there's any way he's going to be the starter, unless it's an injury. Knock on wood. Hope it's not. All right. Call that man slow turtle. Speak those things, CJ. I'm praying for the best this season. Yeah, man. Yeah, let me tell you. I talk my fair share of trash, about this team, hell, management, coaches, players, everything. But at the end of the day, when Sunday comes, if you out there on the roster, you have my full support because I'm praying for nothing but the best. You know, I might talk hella trash about you during the week, but if you out there come game day, I'm not gonna be like, I hope he don't do nothing. No, please do something, please. Shamar is better than Nick. Okay, I got you. Flame for Jesus, what's going on, man? How you doing? We were 32nd in first downs, which helped the defense be historically bad. Also, with 31st what? Oh, you talking about 32nd in first downs on offense? I think that's what you're saying. Let me know. MJ said that he was looking at the man in the mirror while Nick Scott was looking at the trash. Give us some slack, Uncle Leroy. I like Shamar. Check his highlights out, nephew. Okay, I will. Because if I'm not mistaken, Shamar Bartholomew came here last training camp from the New York Jets. Hold on, let me see. It's right. Yeah, New York Jets. He was New York Jets before he came to Carolina. All right. Um, Native says, how many wide receivers can we keep? 6 or 7? I do believe that it's going to be 6. Okay. I think go ahead for me and lock in 6 wide receivers. All right. Is there a chance that they keep 7? I think that, you know, it's going to be a situation where David Moore and Hunter Renfro or whoever, goes out there and just has a hell of a training camp, hell of a preseason, and the Panthers are like, yeah, we can't give up on this. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, all right, just say like if you cut a Hunter Renfro, all right, and he has a hell of a training camp, hell of a preseason, especially in preseason games, and everybody sees it, and they're like, "Oh, you cut Hunter Renfro, he ain't gonna be out there on that market too much longer, too long. I'm sorry, too long at all." In the rare case if he does that, he makes the practice squad. They're not safe on the practice squad. Another team can come and sign anybody off your practice squad. So we'll see, but excuse me, it would be a case where you know everybody fighting for that last spot goes out there and balls out, and like we was talking about earlier, you take from a spot at another position group, and then that way you maybe keep an extra wide receiver. So we'll see. They said these are Supremo slides, Caesar. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I put a little bit of effort into these today. Thank you, appreciate you. Said keep Nick Scott way back. Hey, Flame for Jesus, man. Thank you for the $10 super chat, man. As always, I appreciate you, brother. So we were 32nd in first downs, 31st in time of possession. That helped the defense be historically bad. Yes, it was on offense. I got you. That and the time of possession are on the defense. Okay, yeah, yeah. Now, hey, I will agree with you on that one. There was a lot of points last year where the offense got on the field, didn't do much, and that they didn't do much very quickly, and the defense got back on the field. Okay, and that does play a part into it as well. You can't have your offense. Your defense just got off the field from a 85 yard whatever play 6, 7, 8 minute drive from the opposing team. You get out there on offense, you maybe go 3 and out, or you get one first down, and then you're off the field on the next fourth down or whatever. Yeah, you're not helping your defense out with that as well. So I do agree with you on that one, Flame for Jesus. Yes, yes. So the offense is gonna have to go out there and put some good drives on the board. Okay, but like I said, hopefully, this defense will not be this way again this year. But again, Flame for Jesus, thank you for the $10 super chat, man. As always, I greatly appreciate you. Miss Unky Dory said people in Dallas in love with Miles Sanders, but we will address that later. I saw that. I saw that article earlier. And they were like, yeah, they falling in love with Miles Sanders. And it's like the same thing that happened here in Carolina. He had good preseason, had good training camps, and then went out in the regular season. But what was it? His first year here, he really didn't do much start of the season. Kind of lost that job out to Chuba Hubbard. He was hurt a lot of last year. That didn't help him out as well either. Another player I had high hopes for Miles Sanders. I swear I did. Had high hopes for, you know. But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if he goes down there and actually does good for the Cowboys. I won't be surprised at all. Okay, but hey, we'll see. Um, Hunter's a keeper. Gotcha, Nader. Gotcha. Hey, let me tell you, it was a big debate about that for a minute on X, and a lot of people were like, it's easy. David Moore gone. Okay, and then a lot of people were like, man, why in the world would you want to bring Hunter Renfro in? No, we good with what we got. This and that and the third. I like David Moore and what he brought to the team last year. But I'm also intrigued at the thought of Hunter Renfro coming back. I think it was from, I forgot the name of the thing he had. I want to say ulcerative colitis, but that might be wrong. So don't quote me on that one. But whatever his ailment was, and but I'm intrigued that if he can come back and be healthy and get back to that form he had when he was with the Raiders, he was out there just and slicing people up, getting open in the end zone and catching touchdowns. So I am intrigued to see if we can get that Hunter Renfro back. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm not going to discount anything that David Moore did last year as well. I really like David Moore. I think he did a damn good job. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I think both of them can return kicks and punts if need be. So we'll see. We'll see. I know Renfro returned punts in Vegas because if I remember, I think it was versus the Chargers, and they had that fake punt, and my man was wide open. Let me tell you, Hunter Renfro came out of nowhere and laid that man out, and about a half a yard from the first down, blast him straight out of bounds, and that was a wrap. They got the ball back. So, but yeah, so we'll see. Flame said I meant to send it in super chat, so I send it again. Okay, thank you. Hey, I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you. Uncle Leroy said, "What the cops say? Put your hands down when Nick Scott need to put his hands on retirement." Oh, let me say, you ain't giving these boys no slack tonight, Uncle Leroy. I ain't mad at you. I'm hoping Rico does well in Charlotte. Hey, you and me both. You know what? Speaking of them, okay. Now I put another short out about the Panthers potentially having one of the best running back duos, not only in the NFC South, but the entire NFL. Now, if you remember back, we had D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, who both had 1,000 yard seasons. I can't remember the year. But they both had a year they had 1,000. I said receiving. I'm sorry, 1,000 yards rushing. in the same season. All right. Now, they had a nickname, okay, and at first, they called themselves Smash and Dash, all right, until Lindell White and Chris Johnson from the Titans were like, nah, bro. They said, what did Lindell White say? Said, nah, they need to call them copyright and infringement or something like that. Because they were like, no, that's the name that they had in Tennessee first. They were Smash and Dash or whatever. So whatever the case was. And so then they went with Double Trouble. All right. So D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, they were Double Trouble. Okay. Now, mind you, um, I don't think the chance of Rico being here next year is very high. Okay. You just think about if they go out and just say both of them have 1,000-yard season, Chuba and Rico. Okay. I don't think the chances are high that Rico's gonna be back next year. Then especially you got Jonathan Brooks waiting in the wings, and then we drafted Trevor Etienne this year. Okay, so it have to be some crazy circumstances for him to be back in Carolina next year. But I say all that to say, you know, um, Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams named Double Trouble. What name can we give Chuba and Rico? Now I'm going to be straight corny with this one. Y'all might know where I'm going with this. I just say you put the names together: Chuba, Rico, call him Chico. Hey, like I said, I know they're straight corny, but y'all give me some names. Let me know what y'all think of our running back duo for this year: Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. All right. Let me see. 910 says Hunter is an ankle breaker though. Yeah. That's what I was saying, man. You get him down there in the red zone, man. He was slicing and dicing people up, dog. Getting open, catching touchdowns. Let me see. Dat and Hurney isn't here to sign the running backs. Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Okay. All right, y'all. But yeah, but that's all I had tonight, y'all. A little bit of a preview from my perspective of the defense. Before training camp. Um, I do honestly think that this defense is not only going to be improved. I think they're going to be vastly improved over last year. Vastly improved. Oh, hold on, we got one right here. Slash and Gash, the Blade Brothers. Hmm, okay, I, I like that. I can get with that one. I can get with that one. Slash and Gash. Hey, appreciate you, Dig it. Thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, Pastor Pope Podcast. What's up, Prime? How you doing, man? What's going on with you? And man, hey, cut us some slack, Unc. Cut us that Uncle Leroy said Nick Scott's the mosquito on the team. The nephew PPP. Yes, sir. What's going on, Prime? But yeah, but that's all I got, man. That's all I got for tonight. Like I said, this is the little bit of a preview from my perspective. Again, I think the Panthers defense will be vastly improved over last year. I'm going to say this now. I think the Panthers defense will be the top half of the league. I do not think we will be last in the league. I don't think we'll be in the 20s. I think we will be a top 15 defense this upcoming season. That's how I feel right now. All right. And Flame for Jesus, thank you again for another super chat, man. $5. My biggest concerns on defense are linebackers, corners, and safeties. Not many changes there and not much depth. Let me tell you, hey, you hit the nail on the head because my biggest concern is the depth in the secondary. Okay. And like I said, the linebackers, um, could we have a little bit more depth at linebacker position? Yes. I think Josie Jewell will be okay if he can stay healthy. I had a slide up there before you joined Flame. Um, asking if there was going to be a battle for that second inside linebacker spot between Trevin Wallace and Christian Roseboom. Is Roseboom going to be able to come in here and maybe take that spot from Trevin, because Trevin was thrust into the starting spot for a lot of last season because Josie Jewell got hurt, and then Shaq Thompson got hurt. He was gone for the rest of the season. And I said earlier, I do believe the plan was for Trevin Wallace to sit learn from Jewel and Thompson, and that did not happen. No way, no how. I'm sure he learned, but it was more on the field training than probably what they wanted. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Prime said Bryce Young will have 37 TDs, 4,125 passing yards, and 13 touchdowns. Let me tell you, man. Okay, I'm not going to say 4,000 yards. All right, I'm gonna say it'll definitely be over 3,000. Okay, I'm gonna dial that back on mine a little bit. PPP. I'm gonna say at least 3,600. I feel like he'll probably have around 25 to 30 TDs. But you know what? I don't think he's gonna have that many interceptions. I don't. I think he'll have maybe around 9 to 10 interceptions for the season. Okay, like I said, that's just my thought process. All right, but we'll see. Rico is a smooth Black Panther on the team at running back. Wakanda forever. Man, you a trip. You a trip. Casey, another great show. Hey man, thank y'all. I appreciate it. Man, let me tell you, I ain't gonna lie. This is how I know that I've channeled my inner my inner Cliff Bryant. That's my dad, because I had this big old thing of water here and my mouth is dry as hell and I ain't took a sip. I know I've been running my mouth tonight, man. But hold on. Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. I know I've been running my mouth tonight. Inside and outside. I got you. 910. Let me see. Don't bogart the good stuff. PPP. Pass it around. He said he on that good cushion alcohol, dig it, huh? T Cole, great show. CJ, blessings, brother. Hey, blessings to you too, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Okay. But yes, but again, like I said, I do believe this defense will be vastly improved from last year. Go ahead and mark me down now saying that this group will be at least a top 15 group in the league this coming up season. Okay. I do not think we're going to be in the bottom of the rankings. I don't think we're going to be nowhere close. Okay. And that's, hopefully with a healthy season. All right, I'm praying for a healthy season, but I do think that the Panthers have made enough adjustments and acquisitions to, definitely get us out the gutter. Okay. Again, if y'all missed it, my biggest concern on defense this year is the depth in the secondary. Especially at the free safety spot. Right now, Nick Scott is our backup free safety. That concerns me a little bit. Okay. And behind JC Horn, Mike Jackson, and Shao Smith Wade, you have Shamar Bartholomew, MJ Devonshire, and Caleb Evans. Okay, so that is our depth at the cornerback spot right now. Okay. Uncle Leroy said, nephew, the store is still open for some Carmex or chapstick. Yeah, I know. I got you. I got you. Uncle Leroy, you a trip, man. I'm gonna get you one day. Hey, Flame, thank you again for another $5 super chat, man. I appreciate it. He said you can say that, but in 3 of his wins last year, he had 126, 172, and 176. 2 of those went to overtime PPP. Hey, but you know what though? You know what's the key thing in that sentence? They were wins. Okay? They were wins. I don't care if he would have went out there and thrown for 76 yards. If we got that W, damn it, we got that W. Hey, now don't get me wrong. I do not want him to throw for 76 yards a game. No. No, 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 no. Okay? But, my thing is this. I see what you got there on the screen, and I agree. Them ain't godly stats, but we won those games. So, hey. Maybe those are games where defense played okay. Those games, we'll see. But again, thank you, Flame for Jesus. I appreciate you, man. QJ said no more Bryce Young slander from I believe. I believe in Little Bell. Little Bell. QJ, what's going on with you, big dog? Oh my God, I see believe in Little Bell. Oh, I got you. I got you. Let me see. 8 or a mile. I got you. Said another unicorn just got his wings. Said if he throws for over 200, we won one. Okay, I got you. I got you. Bryce Young does a super can celebration in the bank. I'm going to shed some color purple tears. Man, hold on. Okay. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the flack that he would catch if he dared to do the Superman celebration? Oh boy. Oh my God. Let me tell you, I know a few people right now, they would lose their mind. They'd be like, how dare he? How dare he do that? But I'm all for it though. I say you got your Meet the Pains firefighter shirt on. What you having? A man? No, man. No, I don't know if you saw it earlier. My wife got the shirt for me. She was in Aruba. It says I flexed and the sleeves fell off. Okay. So I got the guns out tonight. Like I said earlier, what caliber they are, hey, you have to mess around to find out. So hey. But yeah. He says Carolina Reaper gonna go off like Sin City Beef. Uncle Leroy, I'm done with you tonight, man. I'm done. Let me get up off of here, man. Hey, again, I thank y'all for watching. I appreciate all of y'all. Again, like I said, I think the defense is going to be better. Before you go, if you would, wherever you're watching this, if you're watching on X, please give me a follow. If you're watching on Facebook, like my page. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider subscribing. If you haven't already, hit the like button on the stream. I greatly appreciate it. As always, you can catch me on all social media at ArmchairGMCJ. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all of it. Instagram, everywhere. Okay. Hold on. Said CJ look like he can make some mean ribs on the grill. Hey, I'm telling you, dog, I can. I can. Look, I'm gonna take the picture of the gazebo that I put together with my grill set up on the now. Let me tell you, I make some mean ribs, dog. Some mean ribs. Some mean ribs. By an inch or by a mile. Winning is winning. Yes, Mr. Earl, it sure is. He said, well, you flexing all right, nephew, like Nick Scott trying to flex on defense. Hey, let me tell you. Dog, my flex is better than that. If that's what he called flexing last year, no, sir. I can't agree to that. Hey, thank y'all for watching, man. I appreciate you. Oh, hey, here we go. There's my backup. My ribs are top tier. Yes, top tier. You know what? The next ones I make sure I definitely have this shirt on. I'm gonna take some pictures and post them. Yep. Flame said, I hope so, CJ. I'm in the wait and see mode. Show me, don't tell me. Hey, I agree. I agree. I completely agree with you. But all right. But let me get up out of here, man. So as always, Panther Nation, I'm going to leave y'all with three things. Number one, y'all be good. Number two, y'all be safe. And number three, as always, Panther Nation, keep pounding, man. I'll see you.